Hey everybody, good morning. Today we get to take a look at a pretty short chapter, pretty small chapter. It's 1 Chronicles 20, and there's only 8 verses in this one. And it's a really short chapter, and you see some of David's conquests, some of his booty, some of his prize, and stuff like that. We're gonna take a look at what's going on in the last 4 verses, 4 to 8. And I'm gonna point out a couple things here, what I see going on here, and you know what the Lord is speaking to me personally, and I'm just going to share it to you. And this is what I keep seeing here is that there is war with a giant. Verse 4, war with a giant. Verse 5, war with a giant whose spear was like a weaver's beam. Verse 6, war with a man of great stature with 24 fingers and toes, 6 on each hand and each foot, and he was a giant. Verse 8 says, these were born to the giants. Listen, David was up against some giants, and we know that. We can see that right here. And yet, he defeated them all. You see, we, in our lives, we go up against some giants too. And maybe you're up against one right now. And they can fall. You know, these giants can fall. They don't need to stand in front of you, tormenting you. They don't need to stand in your life and control you. They don't need to be grabbing a hold of your circumstances and changing it to a way that you don't want it to. You see, we can defeat these giants. You see, just as David did physically, we can do spiritually now. We can defeat these giants. They don't have to rule. They don't have to have a place of authority in your life. They don't. You know, Christ tells us that he gives us the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, things that sting and things that bite. He gives us authority over those things in our lives that are meant for harm. We need to take that. So today what I'm going to look at is I have a few different verses here, and I want to talk about fighting the giants, okay? And we can see this is where God has us. God has us learning about wars. So what are we to do? We're to learn how to beat giants. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I have 4 scriptures that I'm going to go over with you. 2 Timothy 1:7, Isaiah 41:13, Isaiah 49:16, and Matthew 17:20. That's 2 Timothy 1:7, Isaiah 41:13, Isaiah 49:16, and Matthew 17:20. The first thing we need to do, you see, what did David do when he first went against the giants? He didn't have any fear. So let's take a look at that 2 Timothy 1:7. What does that say? 2 Timothy says, 1:7 tells us, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Okay? He gives us that spirit of fear is not God. It's not God. So first of all, have no fear. When you're going up against these giants, have no fear because you have power. Not only do you have power, you have a sound mind to know when to use the power, and you have love to use the power correctly. Okay? God has not given you a spirit of fear. Don't fear these giants. Do not fear these giants. Take a look at Matthew 17:20. What does that say? This is Jesus speaking. He says, because of your unbelief, for surely I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. Listen, you have to have faith. And in order to build that faith, you need to get into your prayer. You need to get fasting. You need to learn to control your own body in fasting. And you need to ask for God's help and prayer. And your faith, you can beat these giants. It can be done. They do not have to stand up against you. Let's take a look. Now I want to take a look at, okay, we have no fear, have faith in God. Now, understand your life is in God's hands. So let's take a look at, actually, Isaiah 41:13 I wanted to go over as well. For I, the Lord your God, will hold your right hand, saying to you, fear not, I will help you. Understand, have no fear. He says it again, I will even help you. Have no fear. Have no fear. Have faith in God. And then realize 49:16 says, see, I have inscribed you in the palms of my hand. Understand, look here. You only write the important things in the palm of your hand, things that you don't want to forget. How often do you look at the palms of your hand? All the time. You know, as I'm sitting here giving this teaching, I see the palm of my hand all the time. And that is written in the palm of your hand is important to you. You see, understand, you are inscribed in the palms of God's hand. He's thinking of you all the time. Don't you think he will protect you? Don't you think that he will provide for you? Don't you think that he's looking at you in his hand saying, won't you beat that giant? You keep asking me to beat the giant, yet I've given you the power to do it. Why won't you do it? Take the power God has given you and beat the giants. Have no fear. Have faith in him because your life is in his hands. And just as I said, he's looking at you going, oh, Donnie, won't you please beat the giants that are in front of you? I've given you the power. Why are you asking me to do what I've given you the power to do for yourself? Prayer and fasting is the key. Knowing the word is the key. Have a super day, guys. I love you all.